Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session to help you think bigger. And it was created for a client that had an idea for a business, a way of making a difference in the industry that they worked in. But there was a feeling of it being unknown territory and almost a bit too big. And the interesting thing is when people have big ideas, it tends to come with an element of excitement, but also uncertainty. And that's because a lot of people deep down believe that they're not good enough, they're not capable enough, they're not knowledgeable enough, and that they don't have the resources to turn a big idea into reality. And that's a lack of self-belief. So in this hypnosis session, there's two key things. One, the suggestions to think bigger, but almost to shift the time perspective to imagine that it's already happened and to think back to the version of you that didn't think it was possible, but was willing to do it anyway. And in doing so, that creates a feeling of possibility, which is really important when you're thinking big. The second thing is to unlock the resources for self-belief. Self-belief is a very important attribute and resource state because of the self-fulfilling prophecy that if you don't believe you are capable, and if you don't believe that you have what it takes to do the thing, then quite often you don't end up doing the thing. And in not doing the thing, you have evidence that you didn't do it because you never tried. But also the opposite is true. If you unlock high levels of self-belief and you position mistakes and setbacks as learning opportunities and stepping stones forward, then you're not expecting everything to be perfect. In fact, you're expecting adversity and challenges and setbacks and mistakes as a part of the journey of continued improvement. So this is really designed for anyone to think bigger, but also access the self-belief required to take on a very big goal or a big challenge. If you're listening to this and maybe you want to think bigger yourself or unlock self-belief, and maybe it doesn't apply to a business context, maybe it's a different area of your life, there's always the opportunity for you to book a free consultation call with me by clicking the link in the show notes. But you might find that actually this is quite a helpful session, even if it's not directly related to your experience. In which case, finding a nice quiet area where you won't be disturbed would be really helpful for you to get the most out of this session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of worry, stress, or tension to leave your body in your outward breath, enabling you as you just breathe in and breathe out to feel calmer, quieter, and increasingly more relaxed. On the next inward breath in, breathe in deeper than you normally would. Scan your body for any feelings of tension or stress, and just decide that now is the time to start releasing that tension and stress, And as you do so, give permission for that stress and tension to leave your body in your outward breath. So as you take that long, deep breath out, feel that tension and stress leaving your body. Notice your eyelids getting heavier and heavier, jaw feeling looser, and start to feel a wonderful sensation of almost like you're floating. And I want you to imagine that you're floating forwards in time into your future, into a bright, compelling, desirable future. Just feel your body moving forwards in time. And I want you to imagine a home in the future you might be living in, or an office in the future you might be working from. And whether it's a home or an office, I want you to imagine the most comfortable, stylish looking chair you can think of. Look at the design, the material, and imagine sitting in that chair. And I want you to imagine there is a big glass window. And you can get a sense from looking out of the window that you are not living in the present time, you are living in the future. And I want you to imagine, perhaps from things that you know you would know at that point in the future, the impact of technology, how it's impacted the world, how it's impacted you, all those things that you just do differently because of this technology. So as you breathe in and breathe out in that chair in the future, you congratulate yourself. Congratulate yourself back in the early days of learning about artificial intelligence, that you had an intuitive thought that this technology would impact an industry that you know very well. And all the way back then, you asked yourself a question. Someone will take this technology and fuse it into this industry, so why not me? And as you tap into that thought, even though you're in the future, you think back to all of the doubts, the hesitations, the worries, the concerns. I don't know enough about this technology. I don't understand how I would launch something. I don't know how I would grow it. What if I make mistakes? Because you're in the future, you can't help but smile. Because all of those concerns were true, and yet you did it anyway. Because concerns don't have to be a reason to stop. They can be the reason to start. Knowing that you don't have all the knowledge yet is a great reason to learn. Not having all the skills you need is a great reason to network and find skillful, competent people. Making mistakes is often the most effective way to learn the most important lessons. And I want you to realize that you think so differently now in the future than you did back in the past. And I'm going to give some suggestions that might echo your new ways of thinking. And as you think about them in the future, they ripple backwards through time to affect how you were thinking back then, at a time when believing in your ability, your vision, your capability and your competency would be more useful back then than it is now in the future. You embrace the power of your imagination and allow yourself to think big, envisioning a business that positively impacts the world. Your enthusiasm for this new idea grows stronger every day, fueling your motivation and dedication to making it a reality. Take this resource and project it back in time that you welcome challenges as opportunities for growth and learning, knowing that each obstacle brings valuable lessons that propel you forward. It will be impossible for you to think anything other than that mistakes are simply stepping stones to success, and you quickly learn from them, adapting and adjusting your strategies for even greater success. You already have an open mind, but that becomes even wider open to innovative ideas and creative solutions, allowing you to see possibilities and opportunities that others may overlook. You have unwavering belief in your abilities and the value that your idea could bring to the world, allowing your confidence to shine through. There will be setbacks, of course, but in the future you're able to look back at those setbacks and see them for what they really were, just a temporary detour. That each and every setback you bounce back with resilience and determination, never losing sight of your vision. Feel that you are amplifying your motivation to succeed, driving you to take that consistent action and make progress towards planning, launching and growing this new idea. Some people believe in the law of manifestation, and when you look backwards, it almost feels like you attracted the right people and resources into your life, forming a supportive network that guides and uplifts you on this entrepreneurial journey. And along the way, it was your intuition that guided you in making wise decisions, but also taking calculated risks, trusting in your ability to make sound judgments, and learning from those decisions that ended up not being so good. You have more capabilities and resources than you realize. So imagine that over this period, by setting a bigger goal, you tapped into more of your creative capabilities, allowing unique and groundbreaking ideas to flow freely as you developed and grew your concept, your idea. And all along the journey, you weren't just thinking about you were thinking of what is the impact of this technology, this platform on other people, other businesses, maybe saving them money, maybe keeping people safe, maybe improving lives. Because you are resourceful and adaptable. And whenever you find an obstacle, there is a desire to find alternative routes and solutions. But it's the vision, that North Star that holds your focus, that even through adversity and storms and setbacks and falls, you keep getting up again. Keep moving forward towards that vision. There are people in the world with a fixed mindset, and there are people with a growth mindset. And you cultivate that growth mindset, embracing a continuous learning and onwards development, as important as food and nutrition and sleep. The challenges are what stimulates your mind. Because deep down, you always knew that this idea has the power to make a significant difference in the world. Someone will do it, so why not you? And as you hold on to that idea, you think back on that journey over the last 2 or 3 years. Every step you took increased your confidence. Every mistake led to more wisdom. Every key milestone led to a subtle shift in your identity. And before long, you truly embrace that you are here to do something important and special. That everything up to your life so far was preparing you for this. And you enjoy taking everything you've learned so far, breaking through limitations, and believing in yourself. And I want you to imagine thinking of the impact that this silly idea had on the world when you look forwards in the future. And as you imagine that impact, think about how it then impacted you emotionally, financially. How much more freedom did it give you? How much more significance and opportunity to learn did it give you? As enjoyable as the destination has become, the journey was even more valuable. But I want you to think all the way back to an alternative timeline, that you had an idea and you just said to yourself, someone will do this, but it can't be me. And just imagine your previous life's trajectory going in exactly the same trajectory, taking you to a very different place. As you realize that there is never a guarantee of success, but if you don't take risks, you don't get rewards. If you don't do challenging things, you don't make mistakes, but then you don't become wiser. That the reward comes from taking the risk. And the riskiest thing in life is to not take any risks at all. Guaranteeing a life of what ifs, regrets, and thinking back to, if only I would have believed in myself. But you're on the timeline where you did believe in yourself. And it wasn't easy, but it was worth it. I want you to feel like you are activating as much self-belief, motivation, and discipline that is necessary for you to turn this idea into reality. Knowing it won't be an easy journey, but it will be an adventure. Hold on to that thought, feel like you're returning to the present, but taking these resources, this vision, this self-belief with you into the present as you take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, fully activating a resourceful, optimistic version of you here in the present. As very soon I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You'll awaken full of self-belief, motivation, and a sense of urgency that you're up against other people that may have the same idea, but they won't have your same resolve. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.